first of all, we got boring business news.
Let's talk about it.
So Embracer Group, they're the company that owns Asmodee.
Oh.
They are based in Sweden. They bought Asmodee in 2021 for $3.1 billion.
Billion is more than a million, right?
It is. That is
quite a few zeros.
3,100 millions. It is a million thousands. 3,100,000.
That's a lot of thousands.
Okay, anyhow.
That's about as high up as I go. I only understand thousands speak.
Anyway, so this other company called Savvy invested $1 billion into this Embracer company in June. It caused some frictions. And unfortunately, they are going to be, there's a big economic fallout thing going on. And it says they're going to be restructuring, laying off 17,000 employees working for this group.
Whoa.
Now, I don't know.
17,000 people?
Yeah, I don't know how much of that's going to affect Asmodee. Asmodee is doing well. It says the first quarter sales for Asmodee were $292.9 million. So that's better than last year, which was $245.2 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, last year they were really struggling.
Yeah.
They mentioned some games that were doing well. Lord of the Rings, set for Magic the Gathering, did really well.
Yes. Wait. They count Wizards as theirs?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, I did not realize
so that's making a lot of money. They also mentioned Anarchy Pancakes from Exploding Kitten, which I guess they own, Fantasy Flight's Marvel Dagger, and Shatterpoint. They said those were strong releases.
Really?
So, yeah.
They specifically singled those out because the other two things are like known, proven things. Magic the Gathering, Exploding Kittens. But Dagger is just one game under Fantasy Flight. That's very interesting. It must be doing well.
And they also anticipate a strong performance from their upcoming board games like Ticket to Ride Legacy and Star Wars Unlimited, the CCG.
Yeah.
So they also said they won, I guess, all the Spiel des Jahres awards. Because Mysterium Kids is theirs, so was Challengers, and Unlock. They nominated. They mentioned Unlock because Unlock got a special award. Okay. So. So they haven't said anything. Asmodee has not announced layoffs. If you're working for Asmodee watching, don't worry yet. But we'll see what happens. Okay. Speaking of Hasbro has an upcoming event on September 12th, which is like 2 weeks. Women Innovators of Play. This is a free online event that you can be. You have to be 18 plus. Sorry, young women innovators. But you get to listen to Elizabeth Hargrave, Tanya Thompson, and a bunch of other folks. You can go check it out somewhere.
It's an online thing?
It is an online thing.
Yeah, it's like online seminar based.
It's a virtual event.
Yeah.
Okay,
a lot of like CEOs and things like that.
Are speaking.
It
says the goals allow participants to connect with and learn from global women innovators in regards to their experiences, the process of pitching a new idea, what makes an idea right for the mass market, and the journey of a product through the Hasbro pipeline. So
that seems cool. I like that.
Yeah, but keep that in mind. That's the focus. Like, you're not going to go in there and be like, I'm going to run a Kickstarter. I don't know that's what they're going to help you with.
Very different thing.
All right, the rest of this is games. Here we go.
Right.
Let's go. If I see even one Viking game, though, I'm sick of Viking games. Oh!
Due to popular demand, Pax Viking Jr. I was talking to Mike, and he's like, who asked for this? Iron Games is known for making...
Mike DeLisio asked for this, okay? Silently asked for this. That's what happens when you love cats so much. They start putting them in everything.
Iron Games makes very heavy games, for the most part. Pax... Is Pax Premier from them?
I don't know.
Anyhow, this is designed by John Manker, and it's put out... It was put out in 2021. Pax Vikings was put out in 2021, sorry. And now we got Pax Vikings Jr.
That's a super nice cover, I will say that. I love the focal point of the kitty cat in the helmet with the butterfly, but then you see the ships in the background.
Yeah, what you don't see is if you pan the camera around, there's flames and people screaming.
That's probably true. Yeah.
And the cat's like, I don't care about any of that.
I very much dislike that cover. I'm dead serious. I'm like really surprised that you guys like it. I do not like it at all.
Because you don't like cats? Because
No.
I can agree
It
with
has
that.
nothing to do with that. No, I just feel like there's so much dead space in the clouds. It's I like the focal, the different focuses, like you were saying. You can see the background, but I find it extremely bland. Like my eyes gloss over.
I think the name is hard to read.
I think that, but maybe it needs to be bigger. There's just so much dead space. It's like,
I like
those
dead space.
ashes falling, I guess. Is that what that is? I don't
Leaves.
know. Are
Right?
they?
Yeah.
Those are That's a butterfly.
Yeah, but the rest is leaves.
They're also
I
butterflies.
think the background is fine. It's all there. It's just very wispy. I don't know.
I just don't like it. No, I
Well,
strongly
maybe you like
dislike
this
that.
next background. Dance of the Ibexes.
Oh
Yeah,
my
there you go.
God.
How about that one? You think that's a good cover?
That's a cover.
So this is from Wolfgang Kramer, and it is part of the 6 Nymph series.
Okay.
So it's a lighter style game. You have a handful of tiles with numbers from 1 to 99. You'll pick one, put it face down, reveal them. We put them in numerical order on the 4 rows on the board. If you place it in a negative space or a cow pie, you score that many points. So there's a few other rules, and it's coming to retail in September, which means Essen.
I do like that it's from Platy. I do like their look, their style. They're an interesting little company, doing some neat reprints.
Patrician, speaking of reprints,
Oh, wow.
the definitive version of Patrician is coming from Calliope of all.
This is a blast from the past. Actually, I saw this at Gen Con.
Oh, were they showing it off there?
They were showing it off.
This new one.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
This is a game, since we talked about this, I was thinking, I might play this next week at the retreat. I really like Patrician. It is a tower building game where there's a bunch of cards in the middle, and you have to take the first card on your turn, but you can put tower pieces on the rest to take a different card.
Okay,
some games.
I like that mechanism.
But then I love it, but then you use those tower pieces to build towers. But sometimes the card will show up and it's like -3 points. No one wants that card. But
then you
eventually you're
get-
like, I could build 2 towers right now.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
And the tower pieces are of different colors, and some colors are rarer, and then they give you more points. It's a pretty simple game, but I really like it. Michael Schacht is not as famous as Knizia, but he's pretty prolific, and this is a good game. I played against him once online. Doesn't matter who won.
Yeah, I like this one. This is one of the better Michael Schott games, I would say. His games tend to be very, very simple. And this is a good, clean, simple one. I like it a lot. I am curious to see what they changed because the font and the look of it looks pretty much the same.
Well, unfortunately, you're going to find out. I say unfortunately because it's still a long ways off. The Kickstarter's coming in October.
So is it a reprint
Kickstarter.
or a redesign?
It's a reprint, but it's going to add a 2-player module, and it adds other modules and yada yada.
Yeah, this
Reprint-
designer's
reprint
always
plus.
fiddling with his designs. He's always changing little things here and
I
there.
respect that, though.
Yeah.
All right, our next game is called Dr. Frankenstein, also from Michael Schacht, although the doctor is very, very tiny. I guess he's a doctor barely. I just thought that's a weird design choice for the...
Oh.
Huh. I wonder if this is a reprint or a new game.
This is a reprint of a game called Frankenstein. But it changes some stuff up. It has new artwork and has 2 to 4 players. I think maybe the original one was only 2. Anyway, you're trying to manipulate a 5x10 rack of different body parts to get the ones that you need. You have to get 5 sets of ingredients to win the game. This one's coming straight to retail, and I like that little company, that Truffle.
I do
their
like
stuff.
them too.
It sounded
yeah.
kind of abstract when I was looking at it. Like you're just trying to move the body parts around to get them in a matching row or column, and if you do that, then you collect that body part.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, it seems pretty abstract, but yeah, cute though.
Now this next cover I love.
Probably
and
going
this
to have too
is
much empty space or
the
something.
element.
Oh, look at that. Oh,
That's
she
nice.
hates it.
The only thing I don't love about this is I feel like, for some reason, to me, the title doesn't mesh with that cover. But I love that cover. This is designed by Vacharis Thanom Sub. It's from Taiwan, DNR board game. And you are dimensional travelers trying to summon souls from ancient shrines by gathering emitted spiritual energy.
Yo, it's like Ghostbusters, kind of like. It's like that one show on TV where people go to spooky places and they're like, "Did you feel that?"
I really like that cover.
That's a
Just
piece
a nice
of art.
piece of art. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say it's art.
I agree that the title,
Really
though,
pretty.
and its style
Yeah.
doesn't quite mesh with the style of the cover
Yeah,
painting.
it feels a little off, right?
Right.
I don't know. That's not a bad font. It feels like a sci-fi font.
I guess that's what I was
almost.
trying to figure out. Is it the font?
Maybe that's
Is
it.
it that the coloring is so smooth in it? Is it the harsh lines? I don't know, but you're right. It does feel separate. I like
Yeah, I
the
think that-
background with the little firefly things in it, to give that separation. But yeah, anyway, I'm
I
sorry.
think that's what it is. That font is sci-fi. That cover is mysticism,
Yeah.
fantasy, if anything. You know
But
what I mean?
right, the way you were describing it sounds more sci-fi of a game. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
cool.
But
I just looked this up on Board Game Geek, and there is no artist done.
what?
I wonder if that's AI.
I hate it. It's terrible.
All right, next game, Tipperary, I think.
Tipperary, yeah.
Tipperary. Okay, this is from Lookout Games, so that Asmodee. And you are building up Irish County with landscape tiles. A magic stone circle decides which tile can be chosen for the build, and you're combining them to collect sheep, castles, and whiskey. 2 to 5 players, 45
Wow.
minutes, $42. This is coming out again, Essen.
Gunther Burkhardt's another one of those, like, sort of slow and steady designers, tried
Yeah.
and true, you know what I mean?
It's a nice cover. It's a peaceful cover.
What do you think of that cover?
I think it's non-offensive. Yeah.
It's non-offensive, Tom.
No, I do like that. I
Not
like
offended.
it. I think it's a good one.
All right. 1902. This is a series from Looping Games where they have a bunch of games that are just dates. I've played a total of 2 of them.
Yeah.
And I keep meaning to play more of them because they pack.
this one.
These are small. These are basically tiny epic games. They're tiny epic Euro games, I guess would be the good way to put it, because you open these boxes, there's a ton of game in there. This one definitely is based on A Trip to the Moon, the first science fiction movie, because that scene is straight from it, that moon with the guy in it. And that moon is that movie's public domain now. It's 1902.
That's
Yeah, you're trying to
neat,
be
okay.
the best movie maker here.
Oh, what an interesting theme. And again, it's set in that year. Being the best movie maker in that year. That's a cool looking concept, and I like that cover too. Should be in black and white, really, but I get that.
Well, that's the thing. They're talking about one of the things you do is you are hand painting the frames with color.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Pretty cool. I like it.
All right, next we have Time Division. And I asked Mike to stick another slide in here, but he forgot. I was going to show you what that looked like upside down. I flipped it upside down to see if it worked the other way, and it does.
What do you mean if it worked the other way?
Yes.
Well, like how well it looks.
Yeah, I mean, it
Upside
looks
down.
like it's like got both writing both ways, the logo both ways.
Yeah, but sometimes games look like that, but then they're clearly still one way.
Right, they're
Yeah,
still
yeah,
meant to
yeah,
look good
right.
one way only. Yeah.
I
Anyway,
think
this
it's
is a 2-player card game. First-time designer Alexander Schreiber, but it's from Heidelbar. And this is coming out at Essen. Again, it has 3 decks of cards, Ancient Egypt, the Dark Ages, and the 1980s.
Ancient
I love
Egypt, the 1980s. Okay.
And the Dark Ages. Anyway, you're drawing 3 from these 18-card decks. You give 1 to yourself, 1 to your opponent, and the final one goes to an independent stack. After you do this, you have 6 cards. And then you're playing a card back and forth. You're trying to play the higher card. And there's different zones and yada yada. It sounds really like up my alley. I love that whole idea.
So it's a little bit like Biblios with the card splitting, it sounds like. I like that.
But then it goes to like war. Is that what I'm understanding? You said,
It
but
might
then you
be a
just
trick-taking thing.
maybe okay, but only 6 cards. It's going to be short.
Yeah, but I like.
Yeah, but you play 50 rounds of that.
Oh, that's
don't.
right. Yeah.
All right. This next theme cracks me up. Open season. This is
Ooh.
coming from Sit Down. And if you are a monster in this game, collecting human heads.
I love
So if
that
you look
so far.
Oh my
see
gosh.
them, they're human heads on the wall. You try to have a fabulous collection. They've disturbed you and your fellow monsters for too long, so now it's time to eliminate them. Bonus points for babies. That does not say that.
Gosh.
I'm trying to ruin it for you. Anyhow, it's you're collecting cards.
Sit down. Okay.
What?
Usually their games are very speed oriented. This one does not sound like it is. This is coming out February of next year, but I just think this theme is hilarious.
I figured out how to rotate the image just as you were changing.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, it took me a while to figure it out, too.
whoa.
No, I think it works. Oh, I like that better.
What you like better, the wolf or the wow? Everybody's getting dizzy.
The wolf is like right on the borderline, the anthropomorphic that I don't like.
Wolf.
So I like the wolf better because it's a little more
Anyway, it's kind of neat.
sci-fi.
Cool.
Okay.
This looks good. Yeah.
All right, want to see a bad font? Let's take a look at Pyramid Dice.
Pyramid dice.
Pyramid dice. Yes.
Like it's so it's kind of cool. Like, oh, if this looks like the kind of thing that in high school you drew it, you're like, look at this cool pyramid font I made.
Sure.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
great, but nobody can read it.
Look, if they don't use it on anything else, I'm okay with it.
Okay, I think that's good because then it becomes iconic. I knew what it said, but I wouldn't want to have to read in it because my mind went to pyramid dice. But if I have to read additional things like the cards or the titles like in the actual game, the card titles in the game, it would be way too much. I don't want to sound anything out.
They might want you to say a pyramid dice because it is kind of pyramid ice. Pyramid ice.
That's what I'm calling it. Pyramid Ice.
Nice.
Pyramid ice.
This is coming from Ares Games.
Ares.
And Art.
I'm kidding.
Okay. Anyway, you are using dice and card play to have a great tomb that you've built for
I
yourself.
love getting a good tomb. The thing is, I don't get to enjoy it.
You do.
All right, the next game is the same game.
Wait,
this
what?
one,
Oh, this one is.
this
Oh,
one,
I
this one
got
looks
you.
like it came from the Electric Company back in the day, or Schoolhouse Rocks almost.
Yes.
I had the hardest time. This kind of reminds me of like the game called The Game. When I was reading it for the podcast, I really struggled because I kept wanting to say the name of the game, but I'd be like, in this game, the same game. I'm not being sarcastic. Like I couldn't not come off salty when I was saying it. I really despise the title.
This is from, though, Wolfgang Warsch,
Wolfgang Warsch, who is,
the best designer in the world.
well, you'll find that out later today to see if he's on your list.
Number 3.
Now, Wolfgang Warsch actually has fallen off the scene for a few years. He had,
Yeah, because he came out with 6 designs in the same year.
like, he was mega popular. No, he's done a few minor things, but this looks interesting. I love this style. I don't know. I agree with you. I don't like the name because it's going to be super confusing. Do you want to play the same game? And people be like, yes. And you put the game away.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, you said the same game. I'm like,
Right.
You got.
Yeah.
or you could bring this out and put it on the table and say, would you like to play the same game? People say yes. You're like, all right. And then you start playing the same game again.
Uh-huh.
All right. That joke wore out really fast. Let's move on.
No, I understand both ways it works, yeah. You can replay one or play this.
Exo World Survival. This is coming from Starling Games and looks like 60 other games that have come out before.
I didn't want to be the first one to say it, but this screams sci-fi, the sci-fi board game.
I mean, it's not that it's a bad
I don't
cover.
dislike
the thing
it.
about those guys, though, they don't look like they fit at all. Are they ready to play football?
I think they're the Munchkins from Wizard of Oz.
Don't they not look like
do.
they're in space? Am I missing something here? They don't look like they're wearing suits.
But I mean, I guess it depends on what the world is. Is it one they can survive on? They don't
Let's
need
see
a
what
suit.
it is.
Still put on some suits.
Climate change is irreversible. Earth is in danger.
Yeah.
We have colony ships with 30 cryopreserved colonists that have been sent out to find a new home.
That's cold.
It's a cooperative colony building game.
Cooperative.
Yep. Designer is Juan Pablo Vargas. Sequel? Is that sequel part of his name, or is it a sequel to something else?
I don't think it was a sequel.
The illustration is done by a Fantasy
Is it
Flight.
sequel or sequel?
It might be
Sequel, maybe? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, you can buy it right now. It's on the website.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. Okay.
It was kinda
I don't love that cover, and it really looks generic, but...
Yeah.
I don't hate... Like, if you took everything else off that cover, including the people, I would put that on my wall as some art. I think it looks great. The people kind of throw it off for me a little. And that extra blue thing in the middle isn't helping the picture.
I think that's what it is to me. I think it's the font and the title and the way they did that. I feel like makes it look, it cheapens it, makes it look generic. But that being said, everything they're saying about it are things that I like in games. It was kind of giving me Unsettled vibes, you know, as it was describing. And I was like, I like that. So it's one that I would like to try. I think, unfortunately, the cover isn't really doing what I hope the game is going to be justice. So...
All right, this next cover, I love this cover. It's called Cookie Champion. And that guy's apparently about to kill you with cookies because it looks like he's throwing them right at you.
Eat the cookie.
It
This
is.
is the cookie version of dice flying out of the cover.
It really is, right? And the thing is, the game isn't about cooks attacking people. It's a cooking championship.
Yeah, but they are energized.
Eagle Griffin. Yeah, this is definitely like if a cooking show was made as an anime. They're like, whoa, and a cake for them.
I know.
Yeah, like the icing that she's, yeah.
I will make this cake. Anyway, you're trying to be the best cookie champion, which I love. I like that theme, Eagle Griffin. The design team is Stefan and Louis Miles, who did Rococo and Valparaiso. So they got...
Yeah, and it seemed like it was an interesting... decisions in this from the description of, you know, are you going to sell the cookies to get money, to get better ingredients, to, you know, build yourself up, or are you actually entering cookies into the championship?
What about,
you know, so you're trying to like balance two different things.
What about eating the cookies? Is that enough?
Whoops, I have nothing to enter.
But I feel great. All right. This next game, River of Gold. So there's a new company out called Office Dog. Office Dog is yet another studio from Asmodee.
Oh, it is Legend.
Who is, their thing is they will take games and match them with IPs, which sounds cool. Then the first IP is Legend of Five Rings. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, I guess it is an IP, but it's a gaming IP. Anyway, River of Gold.
That's their objective. That's what they do. Office Dog. Gosh, talk about sounding soulless. Like, we'll take a game, we'll match it to an IP that kind of fits. Office Dog. It's just like, I don't know, it just seems very workman-like.
Well,
not very inspired.
The head of it is Brian, the guy who used to play games with us with Fantasy Fight Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
He is very inspired. He's like an energetic, inspired guy, but this sounds sort of business-like.
But this game, I looked at it, looks like a decently medium-weight Euro game about going down the river. It looks really good. The pictures of the game, we're just showing you the cover. The cover looks good, but the game looks good, too.
Are you looking at? Oh, no.
When they showed it to me, I had a chance to see it at Gen Con. I went up and looked at it. I was like, that looked fun. So I'm hoping.
They have done one previous Legend of the Five Rings board game. There's obviously the living card game and all of that, and the trading card game. But they did a board game, I forget what it was called, and it was a solid board game that Fantasy Flight came out with. So I'm glad that they're using the IP here to do something else. You know, I guess they do still, you know, this company has access to it now, so that's good.
And last piece of news, Marvel Crisis Protocol is getting updated. So there's a new set coming out from Atomic Mass Games called Marvel Crisis Protocol Earth's Mightiest Core Set. So this is a new version of the game. It came out in 2019 originally, so it's 4 years old. And so they're updating all the included characters. They're adding more dice mitigation and using 4 affiliations instead of 2. None of this I understand. Well, I'm just reading it.
You know what dice mitigation means?
Right, but I don't know what that means to the game, right?
In the scope of the game, right.
The reason I haven't played this game, I mean, it looks interesting, and I love the idea of superheroes. It's just, well, first of all, the miniatures, you have to build them. You have to build them and paint them and put them together. And I wish if it was prepackaged miniatures, I'd be all over this. But it is Yi miniatures game with measuring and there's tons of, I mean, you look.
Oh, wow.
The cards have all these different powers. It's a straight up miniatures game. In our game store, it gets
Marvel
played
Warhammer?
a lot, huh?
Like Marvel Warhammer?
Yeah, but with fewer characters, but yes.
Okay.
And you can do things like pick up cars. We have one guy in our game group who came for a while who had like just oodles of terrain. He didn't have just the characters, but he had like painted vehicles and set up the terrain. It looked neat. And he offered to teach it 80 times. And I said, no, 80 times. But
okay.
Very lifestyle. Fun.
It is lifestyle, and that's another reason.
It's expensive, too, from what I understand.
Yes. But miniatures games like this often are.
Well, I mean, they become lifestyle and the thing that you put into. And can you buy them one off, kind of like, oh, I want this faction, this character, this. Okay, interesting.
And that's where it gets expensive because you're like, I would like the Hulk, and the Hulk was like $50 to $60, and you're like, oh, that's one miniature. I better play with this guy a lot.
Well, especially looking at some others, and it's like, oh, and here you get 10 in this one core set or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, folks. That's the news.